Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander Score Studio. Welcome to the show. So, this has been a crazy spoiler season and a crazy day. Yeah, we're taking a break from the leaks here for just a little bit because, well, there's also some amazing spoilers. I guess to say with those leaks, if you haven't seen those episodes, make sure you check them out. But again, a reminder that those are not officially confirmed, but this one is. Yeah, that's right. Glamdring is officially confirmed. This is an official spoiler. And my goodness, does it live up to that mythic name of it? And the mythic, set symbol. There you go. A legendary artifact equipment for 2 that has an equip cost of 3, and it's got some very familiar text on it. Equipped creature has first strike and gets +1/+0 for each instant sorcery card in your graveyard. Yeah, we'll talk about the exact card that this definitely pulled inspiration from here in a little bit. On top of that, whenever equipped creature goes common to a player, you may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. Okay, being able to cast giant things for free seems really good. Now, I mean, at a base level, this takes into account all the damage that is dealt to that player, all that combat damage from this one source. So that not only counts, obviously, whatever the creature's power is, but this pump effect, any other pump effects, you're basically going to be pretty easily able to, in a Spellslinger deck, I would assume this you're probably using with this card, or maybe a Self-Mill deck, you're going to be able to cast whatever instant or sorcery from your hand for free, for the most part. And of course, that can be an absurd amount of them, an absurd amount of powerful ones. Talk about a couple here in a bit that you might want to consider utilizing with something like this. But yeah, this is a powerful effect. Again, this can turn your commander in the right deck into a 2-shot or even a 1-shot KO very easily. Again, if you're in a Spellslinger deck or a Self-Mill deck, you can easily get a ton of instant sorceries in your graveyard to make this pump an absurd amount. I mean, I'm talking like +10/+0 pretty easily. And again, with that first strike, that means that your commander, which I'm assuming you're putting on, maybe something else, but most likely your commander is going to be nearly unstoppable in combat because, well, it gets to hit first. And if your opponents don't get to hit first, or if they don't have an indestructible creature, you're going to be taking them out. And doesn't matter what your commander's toughness is, it's going to survive that combat. And on top of that, if you give it trample, obviously that interacts very well with this to get damage through so you can cast things for free. Or, yes, obviously, if your commander has some evasion or whatever creature you attach this to have some evasion, that's great as well. Or, yeah, giving it evasion, just, yeah. There's a lot of ways to ensure that you can hit an opponent for an absurd amount and then also cast an absurd spell from your hand for free. So, yeah, there's definitely some decks out there that are going to love this card because this card is, well, really cool, really powerful, and, yeah, a slight step up from a previous card that this definitely pulled inspiration from. And yeah, let's move on to that now. Now, I should remind you that on episodes like this, well, normally with, this being, a commander, if this was a commander spoiler, well, we'd be talking about the budget buys, the price your picks that work well with it. In this episode, I'm going to talk about some similar cards, or at least should I say one similar card. I'm also going to talk about cards that work well with it, and then commanders that might want to consider this amazing card. So first up, well, let's take a trip back to memory lane with Rune Chanter's Pike. Yeah, this is an oldie but a goodie from, I believe, original Innistrad. A fantastic card. Equipment for 2 that says, equipped creature has first strike, it's +X/+0, X the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard equipped 2. So, basically, the exact same thing as our brand new card, but the new one has a couple of differences. Now, obviously, one is that equip cost, again, is 1 greater. That is a downside to our new card, but a slight downside for what kind of value you get. Again, with that 1 additional cost, you are getting potential giant free spells. So, yeah, that's kind of worth it. On top of that, another difference is that it is legendary, so that is somewhat of a downside in that you can't really copy it, obviously, unless you've got like Mirror Gallery or those kinds of things in play. But also, you have an upside that it works very well in, well, like legendary tribal decks, legendary matters decks. Those can really utilize a card like that. Something like Sisay can go tutor it right out if you need that, or again, it can work in a Jody Unifier deck. Yeah, again, Rune Chanter's Pike already does a lot of work. But yeah, and alongside of that now, this brand new card is going to do a lot as well. Of course, both can go in the exact same deck. I would expect both to be in the exact same deck because if you want to pump your commander in one way, you probably want to pump it in another way too. That's exactly the same, what with an additional benefit. Now, are there going to be some decks that this new card, Glamdring, ends up in that Rune Chanter's Pike isn't in? Sure. I mean, if you've got, a commander that already can deal out a good amount of damage and you've got a way to get it through, and you want to cast some giant things from your hand for free, sure, go for it, because you don't have to pump all that much to get those kinds of commanders to actually make an impact. But still, yeah, both usually are going to show up in the exact same decks. Now, again, like I said, the difference with that 1 extra mana for the equip cost could get you an Expropriate for free. Yeah, that's just an example again. The amount that this can pump you, again, like I mentioned earlier, just easily plus 10, whatever it is. Again, throughout the game, you're just casting spell after spell to spell. You're in a spell slinger deck, you probably have a bunch of cantrips. If you're in a self-mill deck, you get a ton of cards in your graveyard. Easily double-digit pump effect. And, yeah, you get your commander or whatever it's attached to through. You hit, you say, oh, look, Expropriate. Everyone choose. Starting with you, each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra of this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile Expropriate. If you are playing against the Expropriate player, always, okay, nearly always, basically always, you need to choose money. If you choose time, it is game over. It's probably already game over because they cast Expropriate and they get a free turn, and 3 free things from all of you. But, yeah, you probably need to choose money. Unless, I mean, yeah, Blightsteel Colossus still. Regardless, extra turns are absurd. Of course, with this, you know, the Spellslinger deck, if it's going extra turns, you're going to be in trouble if they've got a commander attached to this or a creature attached to this that is evasive. They can get through on players again and again and again, casting extra turns. Gross. But the way that I would go with it is, of course, Inevitable Betrayal. I love this card and cards like it. Cards that you're not supposed to be able to just cast. Cards that do have a different way to go about casting. Suspend 3 for 1 blue. So you exile time counters on it, remove those anyways. Search target opponent's library for a creature card by the battlefield under control. That player shuffles. I like cards that interact in a way where it says, you know what, let's just ignore the fact that you're not supposed to be able to cast this, and we cast it, because technically when it's in your hand, it has a mana value of 0 when it comes to actually, hitting someone with Glamdring. And even if you hit for, well, you gotta hit for at least 1, right, to deal combat damage, but still, you can cast Noble Betrayal then for free from your hand, and I absolutely love that. So again, cast big spells, cast small spells, cast whatever you want for free with this now Rune Chanter's Pike that has just a slight downside with that equip cost being 1 more, and that is well worth it in the vast majority of circumstances. So yeah, decks that love Rune Chanter's Pike are definitely going to love this one, and of course, there's even more commanders out there that are going to love this brand new, very powerful card. So let's talk about some commanders, and yeah, again, like I mentioned, there are quite a few, and one that really stood out to me is one that is in love with Rune Chanter's Pike. Vadric, Astral Archmage. You're gonna love this card as well. A 1/2 human wizard for 1 blue-red. It's either day or night. Who cares about that, really? I mean, no one really cares about that. Basically, hey, whenever day becomes night, night comes day, you get a counter on it. Cool. It helps a little bit, but what really matters is not day and night effects. What matters is instant sorcery spells you cast cost X plus cast or X is Vadric's power. Already, it's at 1. Of course, those little counters can add up, sure, but what really matters is giant pump effects like this one, like this new Rune Chanter's Pike. Rune Chanter's Pike, now Glamdring, both have the exact same effect again, pumping this commander to an absurd amount, to an amount that is just, well, all your spells are free. Well, not free. I guess you have to pay the, generic mana for them. Or not generic mana. You get the generic for free. The pips you have to pay. There we go. We got there. Regardless, with a Vadric deck, you usually have giant X spells, especially ones that can, double up Vadric power. So do it again and again and again, doing some absurd things, casting some giant fireball effects, maybe drawing your entire library. Yeah, Vadric is going to absolutely love yet another Rune Chanter's Pike that also just happens to say, hey, do you want to hit someone and cast something for free? Yeah, sign me up for that. Next up, speaking of hitting people, One Punch Man. Absolutely a fantastic name for Shu Yun, the Silent Tempest, a 3/2 human monk with prowess that costs 2 and a blue. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you can pay Boros. If you do, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. So, you're going to be casting a lot of non-creature spells, probably a lot of instant sorceries, a lot of low-to-the-ground, cheap ones, probably a lot of cantrip effects. You're going to fill your graveyard quite quickly with those instant sorceries. Attach Rune Chanter's Pike, attach Glamdring, get this creature to an absurd amount. Again, you just need to get it to 11 power, cast a single non-creature spell. I mean, I guess as prowess there too, so keep that in mind, obviously. Cast a single non-creature spell, pay that Boros, give it double strike, hit an opponent for lethal commander damage. Again, that's why it's called One Punch Man. You take your opponents out in one punch. Yeah, and Glamdring can definitely help you out with that. I guess it's not really a punch, though, if you're carrying on a sword. That's kind of cheating there, One Punch Man. Anyways, Aisha of Sparks and Smoke. A 4/2 human warrior with prowess that costs 1 red. Aisha has Pay a Boros, gains first strike until end of turn. Whenever each deals combat damage, you may cast a sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to that damage without paying its mana cost. So somewhat similar to this effect, actually. Again, kind of like a combination of different commanders I've already talked about. But this one, again, hey, you don't have to pay for that first strike because you're going to get first strike if you attach this Glamdring to it. Again, prowess is great. Casting a lot of non-creature spells, especially instant sorceries, can pump it even further by having, Glamdring attached, obviously, when those go to your graveyard. On top of that, you're doubling up that combat damage trigger, essentially. Again, cast a sorcery spell from your hand with mana value less than or equal to the damage, without paying its mana cost. This is basically the exact same thing, except for Glamdring also gives you access to instants. So basically, cast 2 spells for free, as long as you have a sorcery and instant in your hand that meet that requirement for the damage. So yeah, this can be absolutely massive in this kind of a deck. Moving on, another commander that likes to cast things for free is Tetsuo Imperial Champion. One that goes about in a different way. 3/3. Whenever it attacks, if it's equipped, you choose one. Yeah, if you've got Glamdring attached to it, it's equipped. Tetsuo deals damage to the highest mana value among equipment attached to any target. And then you may cast an instant sorcery spell from your hand, mana value less than or equal to the highest mana value among equipment attached to Tetsuo without paying its mana cost. Obviously, this is slightly different in that, hey, this more so cares about mana value versus the actual, amount of damage you're dealing. That being said, you're casting one thing for free on attack. You probably have a different piece of equipment that, costs a bit more than this too. Maybe not, but still, you can still cast Double Trail for fun. Or, again, when you're getting through, you're also going to cast something else for free. So, again, the potential to cast 2 things for free, a lot of value, hit really hard. And, of course, getting more instant sorceries in your graveyard is always going to be a good thing. Again, very easily turn this into a 2-shot KO. You get double strike on it, maybe into a 1-shot KO in absolutely no time. Oh, my goodness. Speaking of a 1-shot KO, not going to take you long at all for Octavia Living Thesis. An 8/8 Elemental Octopus for 10 mana, but it's never going to cost you 10 if you're set up properly. It's going to cost 8 less to cast if you got 8 or more instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. So basically, going to cost 2. You get it out for just 2 mana and 8/8, which also has Ward 8, which basically is just hexproof. I don't know, Wizards, I know it's kind of funny that you put like Ward 8. Unless someone has like infinite mana, it's basically hexproof. They are not going to be able to target this. On top of that, whenever you cast Copy and Sorcery Spell, target creature has base power toughness 8/8. That's nice. But again, if you attach Runechanter's Pike, or now with this new one, if you attach Glamdring to this, probably a 1-shot KO. Again, if you have that requirement of 8 instants in your graveyard, 8 instant sorceries, okay? That's +8/+8 from Glamdring. So your commander's hitting for 16. That is a 2-shot KO, obviously. If you got double strike, 1-shot. If you get 5 more of those in your graveyard, a 1-shot KO as well. Yeah, pretty gross, pretty disgusting. And again, cast any spells out of your hand for free when you hit. Even if you just have like +1/+0 on this, hitting for 9, you're going to cast anything for free essentially out of your hand that's instant or sorcery. Moving on, Lazav the Multifarious. I love this commander. It's really cool, really spicy. 1/3 Shapeshifter, ETB, Surveil. 1 basically Scribe, but hits your graveyard instead of the bottom of your library. Pay X, becomes a copy target creature card in your graveyard, except its converted mana cost X, with converted mana cost X, except its name is Lazav, it's legendary to other types, and it has this ability. Basically, hey, a Shapeshifter that kind of changes into different creatures in your graveyard to really funny effect. So basically, you can kind of be like, okay, there's this one creature in my graveyard that's like, maybe hexproof, maybe unblockable, you know what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, you turn it into that, and then you swing, you get through on an opponent. Before damage is assigned, you switch it to something else. Maybe something with, say, Infect. Yeah, so now it's unblockable, already coming through with Infect. And let's say you've got, Runechanter's Pike or now Glamdring attached, and you've got a bunch of things in your graveyard because, again, you're benefiting from self-milling. Yeah, you can one-shot players easily, especially again with kind of like a poison, infect strategy, or if you use something with double strike, that would work too. But yeah, more likely with these kind of colors, poison would be the way to go. Gross. And then finally, actually forgot that Real had this, but it's kind of funny. A 0/3 human wizard that costs 1 blue red, gets +1/+0 for each in sorcery card in your graveyard. Basically already has a Runechanter's Pike attached, essentially. Comes with that. So yeah, slap on another one with Glamdring. Oh my goodness, the amount that you can hit for is absurd. And also, hey, whenever you discard 1 more cards first time each turn, draw that many cards. So Real loves wheeling. Basically, you wheel and you draw twice as much, essentially once each turn. So all you need to do is wheel, then wheel again, and wheel again, and you fill your graveyard instant sorceries. Real can hit for a ton. You've got ways to get her through. And then also, yeah, you attach Glamdring, you swing, you hit for double, essentially, probably 1-shot KO. And yeah, cast things for free out of your hand. Why not? Yeah, overall, Glamdring is a very, I think I've been saying Glamdrill. My bad. Anyways, comment below on how I messed that up. Glamdring is a very cool card. Again, kind of like an iteration on Runechanter's Pike. Works very well in the exact same deck. Has a slight downside compared to it with one more equip cost, but that's well worth it. Slight downside, but also potentially upside with it being a legendary. Again, with, legendary tribal decks like a Sisay deck, whether like Captain, or a Joda deck, the Unifier, those can definitely utilize something like this. And yeah, if you already have a deck that has Runechanter's Pike, throw in another one, I guess, if your budget allows it, because this is a mythic. It's probably going to be pretty expensive. It's a really cool card. You can do some very cool things with this. Pump a ton, hit for a ton, cast big things or small things for free. Overall, a really cool card, but yeah, make sure you're staying tuned for even more cool cards, even more exciting quick takes, spoilers, leaks, everything coming up. And with that, this episode is coming to a close, so let me know what your thoughts are on it in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.